June 4th, 2011. I'm right? You know, you got to look at it and make sure you're right. And Jerome, I mix it up. I might not get none later on. You feel me? I got to make sure I'm right. You know what I'm saying? Y'all. Let me tell y'all something. We need reminders. We need reminders. And I know some of us have just got married recently, right? Faith and I did this a little different. You know what I'm saying? Dion Couture, we went to Justice of the Peace. And then we decided a couple months later to have a wedding, a destination wedding. And we did that by design. Why? Because we know it was some people who were still going to come, but I knew it was only the people who truly loved us and would hold us accountable that would take a trip with us, Sasha, all the way down to DR to have this wedding. The dude right there who you see who had our wedding did our premarital counseling, and I'm accountable to him for the rest of my life. I'm a part of his legacy. Why? Because I understand what marriage is. It's not just about me and Faith. People are watching each and every one of you as couples, and they saying, yo, for real, if it don't work out for Joel and Ciara, how is it going to work out for me? If it don't work out for Adrian and E, how is it going to work out for me? And so when you arguing and you fighting and you fussing and carrying on, you don't even got no time for that. That's the thing that amazes me. We arguing and fighting and we don't even got time for that. You're supposed to be fruitful. You're supposed to multiply. You're supposed to subdue the earth and have dominion. And you stuck in the be fruitful stage. There's so much more to your marriage and so many. Okay, let me just jump into my elder role real quick. One day when God bursts the clouds and he comes back to take his people home to live with him through the ceaseless ages of eternity, he's going to ask you whether you realize it. What did you do with your gift? What did you do with your gift? Y'all think I'm tripping? I know sometimes there's some people in the building that are not necessarily believers. Let me apologize real quick. All right, for that. But the principle will stand strong. I was in Matthew 25, and I'm still in Matthew 25, and I've been in Matthew 25 for the last, 2-3 months. And there's these parables that Christ told. One about the bridesmaids. 5 were foolish and 5 were wise. And then he comes down and he starts talking about the parable of the servants. To one servant, he gave 5 gifts because he was going away on a long journey. To one servant, he gave 5 gifts. To another servant, he gave 2 gifts. And to another servant, he gave 1 gift. When he came back from the long journey, he asked him, where are the 5 talents that I gave you? What did you do with it? He said, well, master, I took the 5 talents and I did some stuff with them and I turned it into 10. He says to him, well done, thou good and faithful servant. You've been faithful over few, and I'm going to make you ruler over many. Then the next servant comes along. And he gives him 2 talents. He said, what did you do with the 2 talents that I gave you? And he said, well, master, I took the 2 talents that you gave me and I turned it into 4 talents. Well done, thou good and faithful servant. You've been faithful over few. I'm going to make you ruler over many. But one servant comes along now with his dumb tail. The master said, what did you do with the gift that I gave you? He said, I was afraid. And so I'm afraid. I never gave you the spirit of fear. I gave you the power, love, and a sound mind. That's what I gave you. He said, I was afraid, Lord, and I knew you were a harsh man, gathering where you did not sow. He's like, well, if that was the case, why didn't you invest it somewhere else so I could have at least got a return on your investment? You know what his response was to him? Takes this useless servant. Imagine God saying to you that you're useless. Take this useless servant and cast him into utter darkness where there'll be weeping and wailing and gnashing of teeth. And I read the chapter and I'm still stuck in the chapter and I'm blown because I'm like, God, all of this, you had all the pleasantry languages for the person that you gave the 5 gifts to and the 2 gifts to, but the one that you gave 1 gift to, and he didn't do nothing with it, and you ready to yeah. You know why? Because I created you to be fruitful. And you weren't fruitful with what I gave you with. Therefore, you're not serving no purpose. And the last time I checked, God don't do nothing arbitrarily. Everything he do with purpose. You think you alive and you breathing right now just to be alive and breathing? There's a purpose on your life and on your marriage. And if you don't serve it, you're going to have to give an account for it. And God is so good because the gifts that he gives to people and they ain't even properly using it, he don't even take the gift back. But you will have to give an account for it. And so I'm saying to you, how are you operating in your marriage such that others are seeing you and saying to themselves, yo, I don't know what that is, but I want that for me and my spouse. Because if they're not saying that, then you're not doing marriage right. If nobody can look at your marriage and say, yo, I don't know what that is, but I want that in my life, then we're not doing marriage right and we need to reconsider some things. And so from time to time, even when the times get difficult, I go to this place right here. Yup. Why? Because it serves as a reminder. I keep a DVD of our wedding. And every once in a blue moon, I go back and I watch it. Why? Because I need to remind myself what I did and why I did it. And some of you getting caught up in your EQ and you swimming in your emotions, right? And she did this and she said this to me, right? And you're not using the reminders to bring you back into your IQ as to why you did it. My marriage is not about what faith can do for me as far as my perspective is concerned. My marriage is about what can I do for her. I got a UPS mentality. What can Brown do for you? But the last name Green don't. You feel me? What can I do for her? If I should die today, Faith's life should be so much better than when it was when she first met me. And I get these little small indicators like, God, where am I with you as far as Faith is concerned? I'll never forget it. I sent her a text one morning. I don't know if she remembers or not, but my wife is very, present. She don't do the entrepreneurial thing. She do the 9-to-5 thing. You like, for real, she's a realist, so she likes to say. And one day I just sent her a text, boy, I'm just thinking about you this morning. I'm just praising God for who you are and who you are in my life. And she sends me back a text. She said, oh, well, let the feelings be mutual then. And she said, thank you for teaching me how to dream when I want to keep my feet on the ground. You know why? Because I'm starting to operate in my gift in ways that I've never operated in my gift before. You know why? Because I'm removing the fear. Sometimes when I get ready to come and do this, what I'm doing right now, I'm nervous. Why? And I'm nervous, number one, because I know I'm getting ready to do God's work. That's number one. Number two, I'm nervous because I'm always thinking like, how will this come across? Or I removed all of that foolishness. If you are here, you're here because you watched me do work in some way, shape, or form. If you're here because I in some way, shape, or form, by the goodness, grace, and mercy of God, I affected your life directly because you did premarital counseling with me or whatever, but you're here. And with some of you, I encourage you and I implore you to get the fear out of your life. Remove the enemy out of your relationship.